there you have it then. There we go.
So on that note, we have one last championship series and one last playoffs to kind of go over before we get to the Atlantic League, and that is, of course, the Pioneer League. I know we haven't spent too much time on them so far this year, but we actually had some very interesting series. We had a couple of Game 3s in there on Thursday night, and that was between Grand Junction and Ogden and Missoula and Billings. And I think it'd be safe to say that Missoula and Billings was not the series we thought would be going to 3 games. Missoula I don't want to say they didn't do as good as we thought, because, I mean, their only loss came in extra innings. We'll talk about that series first, I suppose. They won game 1, 6-2. Billings answered back 6-5. And then ultimately in game 3, Missoula took it 4-2. So the Mustangs did far better than I think we could have hoped they would do. It was a very close game. It was 3-2 going into the late innings in the game 3 there. But ultimately, in the end, what is the best team in the Pioneer League and one of the better teams in Independent League Baseball showed why they were one of the better teams in Independent League Baseball over the course of the last 4 days.
Right, for sure. And Billings did do a good job. They put up a really good fight. And they were able to win that game 2 in 10 innings on the road, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. I mean, there's not a lot of teams have challenged Missoula really that whole season. I mean, the interesting thing is when you look at Billings, I mean, they pounded out 18 hits in that, and only 6 runs to show for it. But I mean, they pounded out 18 hits against obviously a really good Missoula team. So they were able to force a game 3, just didn't have enough. Just didn't have enough eventually, but and Missoula able to take it home. But I mean, certainly a good showing for Billings in the playoffs as well.
Absolutely. I mean, and also we kind of expected Missoula, being the team they were, to just kind of dog walk them, just go right into the final and not lose a game the whole way. So the fact that, the Mustangs made it a contest, especially in the last 2 games, was nice to see. Flip side, Ogden, Grand Junction. Ogden drops game 1 to Grand Junction, 5-13. In game 2, they answer back, winning 10-6. And unfortunately for the Raptors, in game number 3, they blew a lead early. Grand Junction took advantage of it. Winds up being an 8-5 win. Grand Junction will advance. They were one of the hotter teams coming into this postseason. They won their division, the South Division, in the second half to get in. Raptor season ends. Overall, it's kind of what I expected here. This is the matchup I expected. Really, the only hiccup was that Billings series, going the distance. I didn't think that was going to happen, but overall, interesting postseason so far for our interesting Frito-Lay postseason for the Pioneer League, presented by Ticketing Smarter.
That's right. And, I think you've seen a lot with these scores and offenses. The offenses kind of rule in the Pioneer League, and that's really what happened in this series. And, 7 runs combined in the 7th and 8th inning for Grand Junction. It's certainly a tough one to swallow for Ogden, who had a 4-1 lead going into that 7th inning. But the bullpen's not as deep, and Grand Junction, credit to them, they battled back. Their offense exploded late, and they were able to get a big winner take all win on the road, to now face the wagon that is the Missoula Paddleheads.
Yeah, and I guess on that note, we have game 1 on Saturday, later today. That's 7:05 Mountain Time, which I believe is 9 o'clock in the East. If that helps you any, that's going to be the same time for games 2, and if necessary, game 3. It's only a best of 3 for their championship. Game 2 will be Monday in Missoula, I believe. Game 1, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be at Grand Junction. And then game 3 would be on Tuesday. So by Wednesday, this one will be all wrapped up and done. Do we see Grand Junction having a chance? Do they manage to push this one a full 3? Do they manage to even take the series from Missoula? Or is this just the kind of gift wrap it and hand the trophy back to Missoula for the 2nd straight year in a row?
Nah, give me Missoula in 2. I love them. I love me some Missoula Paddleheads. I think they'll win. They've shown the best team all year. I think they'll take care of business. They'll win in 2.
See, if you would have said Missoula in 1, then maybe they would have sent you that nice Timberjacks hat that we've mentioned a couple shows back.
True.
But I'm inclined to agree. I think it will go 3, though. I think Grand Junction has enough fight in them to at least take one game here. That being said, it's Missoula's trophy to lose at this point. I mean, they're just such a talented team and so well managed. It's hard to say, but good effort by first-year manager Bobby Jenks at the helm of the Grand Junction Rockies. And on that note,
regardless,
on that note too, can they change their name from Rockies? It's kind of weird to still have your MLB Parents Club name while you don't, in fact, have any sort of affiliation with them.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I do think they should change that just to move into the indie ball landscape permanently. Just kind of get a new identity away from affiliated ball.
Yeah, at the very least, like change the colors from purple, black, and silver to something else, right? Like it would be nice. But yeah, so that's all we got on the Pioneer League. I know we run through them. We'll do a better job with it next year, I promise. But that's where they stand, and we will cover what happens there.